Hey, good morning everybody. We've continued with our cycle of fighting with the wind, the weather, to get our market garden and stuff started this year. We've got a lot of projects going on here to try to improve, build, and work on all of these projects. It's really difficult and a little bit frustrating, you know, when you try to get a lot of work done and there's just not enough hours in a day or enough energy, to be quite honest. It's a pretty large undertaking. But I'm going to show you a few of the things we do have going on, show you where we are on some projects. So if you've been following us for any time at all, you may remember that last year we used cattle panels for putting up the tomato plants, and so this year we're doing it a little bit differently. We've expanded, we have a lot more tomato plants. So what we're doing is we've put up T-posts throughout our rows, and then we're using, this is a 12 gauge electric wire. We're not energizing it, but we are using the tomato clips. You can see here and right there. We're using the tomato clips to string these up. We're trying to keep these pruned back a lot better than we did last year, and so we'll just add a new line as the tomatoes grow and get taller. So similar to the upright style in a greenhouse, we're doing it horizontally out here in the field. And you can see our pepper plants are also doing pretty well, recovering from all of the storms and hail and wind, but they are looking pretty good as well. Still have standing order in between rows, you can see down there, and a lot of weed pressure coming up in between the rows that we'll need to deal with. So we've been able to use this greenhouse from Delta Canopy Company. This was its second year or second season, and we've got everything out of it and getting ready to replace it. You can see down here on the end where the wind has damaged the doors and the ends, and all of the windows have failed over time. We duct taped them shut over the winter to keep those usable, but the whole end wall here from the wind has just been destroyed. But we are going to take this one down, but in doing so, there's a long seam that's all the way down both sides here, and I'm going to cut everything off below there and use some framing to go across it on both sides, cut these end panels off similarly across this upper seam right here, and continue to use this for another purpose, which I'll show you that in just a second. But you can see how damaged the windows are, and just time to replace it and get a little something better installed here. These are the parts for the next greenhouse. We ordered a greenhouse from growersolutions.com. Heavier duty metal and steel, heavier duty plastic, and just the overall framing of this should be superior to the one that we started with. So that one's coming down, and this one is going up probably in the same area. This one is 16 feet wide and 36 feet long, so it'll be 4 feet wider and 6 feet longer than this one. So this is the area where we're going to move that green greenhouse that we just talked about, the one that's the plastic's worn out on, and we're going to relocate it here. So I've got to move this little greenhouse that we've used in the past for all of our like patio plants and stuff like that, and that little potting shed there. We're going to move and relocate both of those, and the big chore, we have this horrible thorny pyracantha bush that has got to come out, and I've wanted to remove it for a long time, but it does get some really pretty berries and things on it. It's just time to get rid of this guy and do something else here. So that greenhouse is going to go in this space. Part of the reason we're putting it there is we have what's going to be our food orchard that just has a few fruit trees in it right now. So that greenhouse will be close to that, and it will also be close to our kitchen garden, which is 21 by 80, and so it'll give us a place closer to this garden for plant starts and maintenance and things like that. Today's real project, one that hopefully I can get completed this week. This is what the next project's all about. We have all of these guys. These are our next batch of about 40 hens, and hopefully you can see some of those guys under there. But yeah, these hens, they need a new home. So we're going to be building them a new chicken tractor and hopefully salvaging parts from one we used last year. Now, some of you may remember last winter we had about 40 chickens or so that were our previous laying flock, and they were massacred out in the market garden field, and this was their home. So I already got an automatic door here, but the plan is to reuse, salvage as many of the parts out of this coop as we can in order to build a new, better, lightweight chicken tractor. Get these off and just kind of show you the inside. So before we had this door that was kind of a pain, just drop it down. And sorry about the grass, I haven't moved in a little while. And we had nesting boxes up there in the back. So we're going to try and rebuild or repurpose this a little bit differently.